All right, so we are going to skip a couple lessons and go right to lesson 23. And it's going to help us understand how to divide with fractions. And we'll do different variations with these three lessons. We'll be using whole numbers and unit fractions and then kind of switch them around. But generally, it's the same rules for these and pretty fairly simple to get used to. So we'll do some practice with that. But before I do that, I just want to do one warm up that goes over how to multiply fractions. And I'll show you that right now. So it wants us to draw an area model to find the product of 1/3 and 1/5. So we're going to draw this rectangle. So to know how to divide up your area model, you look at your denominators here. We're comparing thirds and fifths. To create thirds here, I draw two lines. So I've got my thirds. And to show fifths, I'll draw four lines to create five different spots there. So this will represent my 1/3. I'll use blue to represent my 1/5. And where they cross over is right here. So since there's 15 sections here, equal sections, we know this is one of those 15. So that should be 1/15. Let's check our math. It's 1 times 1 up top times 3 times 5. And it gives us 1/15. So that does check out as the right answer. So again, area models are useful for that. We're also going to use them for division with this lesson. So go ahead and go to page 459. And let's get into problem 1 here. Mrs. Cook wants to share 1/4 pound of fish equally among 3 cats. So you see this model here. It's a square with 1/4 of it shaded in. We know that that whole square is 1 pound, but we are only dealing with 1/4 of it. And we want to share it between 3 cats. And she wants to know how much she should give each cat. So what we can do is we can draw these horizontal lines to represent each cat. And over here, just label cat 1, cat 2, and you guessed it, cat 3. So looking at that model, cat 1 will be this one, cat 2 will be this one, and cat 3 will be this one. So looking at that model and seeing that there are 12 equal sections, that means each one is going to be worth 1/12. So each cat is going to get 1/12 of a pound of fish. It says complete the division equation to match your area model. So here we have, and this is how we do division of these numbers. You have 1/4. We keep this first. We keep our dividend. Put a K there. For our division symbol, we're going to change that to multiplication. And we're going to flip our divisor. We're going to flip that over. So this is actually 3/1 because any whole number is that number over 1. But we just don't do that each time. So that's going to become that. And this becomes 1 times 1 over 4 times 3. And that becomes 1/12. So mathematically, ironically enough, with dividing fractions, you change them into division problems, which we've already done. So I know you can handle that. We just have to make sure we flip the divisor. And you can put that over here. Flip your divisor. And your divisor is always your second term there. All right, let's try another one. Same concepts. Look at the problem about Mrs. Cook again. Complete the statements below to solve the same division problem using multiplication. So, so we know each cat will get 1/3 of that 1/4 pound of fish. You saw that shaded area, the 1/3. We split it up into 3 parts, so they gets 1/3 of that. And again, this just shows you you've got the 1/4 times that 1/3, and that equals our 1/12. Okay, so again, when we talk about it this way, this is why we flip. Like, this is why instead of that 3, it's going to be 1/3. This will make a little more sense as we do a few more. All right, turn to page 460. Mr. Putnam wants to cut a 3-foot rope into 1/4 foot pieces. So he's got his 3 feet here, and what you'll notice here is the 3 feet are divided up into 1 foot, 2 foot, and 3 foot. Now, that's not our answer. That's not how we want to do that. We want to take this whole 3 feet and split up into 1/4 foot. So to do that, we need to split each foot up into quarters. So draw 3 lines on each one, and that creates 4 equal spots, just like that. And that's going to equal, you can just count them up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So with our model, we've got our answer. But we also want to know how to do it mathematically. So Mr. Putnam can cut 12 pieces that are 1/4 foot long. All right, so let's try this division equation. So we're going to keep our dividend, which is 3. But let's put it as 3/1 just to make things easier. And then we're going to change our division. We're going to change it to multiplication, and then we're going to flip this 1/4. We'll turn it into 4/1. And this gives us 3 times 4 over 1 times 1, which gives us 12/1. Or we can just say 12. So mathematically, we could show that. So we took 3 feet of rope, we divided it into 1/4 pieces, and that's how we do it mathematically. All right, so looking at the model again of the rope, complete the statements below to solve the same division problem using multiplication. So we did that already, but let's do it again. So we're talking about 1 foot. So we know there are 4/4 in 1 whole foot. And over here, we'll just put 4/4 equals 1. And just pay attention to that. Let me add that to my book here because that's a good thing to talk about. 4/4 into 1. Write a multiplication equation and find the number of 4s in 3 feet. Well, if there's 4/4 in a foot and we've got 3 feet, that gives us 12. And Mr. Putnam can cut 12 1/4 pieces of rope. So, all right, so let's do this last part. Number 5, the reflection. Explain what it means to divide 3, in this case 3 feet of rope, by 1/4. So 3 divided by 1/4 means we want to find how many fourths are in 3 holes. And there we go. Simple as that. Okay. So your homework is going to be IXL N3. So we're going to divide whole numbers by fractions, which is exactly what we did with this last example. So that would be very helpful to you. And it uses models. If the models confuse you, again, you can just ignore them. But they are there to help you, and you can kind of see how they relate to one another. But it's good practice. We'll have 2 more lessons after this, so we have even more practice by the time we're done next week. All right, good luck.